After predominantly UK students, but that also includes things like open days, our Discover RNCM Day to Day, our Student Ambassador Scheme, and a lot of communication with offer holders and people who'd like to come and study with us.
Great, wonderful. And Ash is the rep for the recruitment team today who will answer some questions that are frequently asked by applicants. And we have two students with us today. And Alicia, should we start from you?
Hi, my voice is a bit, it's too early here, but my name is Alicia. I am a current student studying opera. And yeah, I'm from New Zealand.
Great. What course are you on, Alicia?
I'm on the postgraduate diploma, the advanced studies. I also did Master of Music, which I finished last year.
Okay, great. What about Naomi?
Hi everyone, I'm Naomi. I'm Australian. I'm actually currently based in Sydney just because of COVID and difficulty travelling and stuff, so I'm studying online. I'm in my first year of the postgrad master's course and I'm a flute player.
Great, very good to know. We also have two alumni with us today. Shall we start with Tom?
Yes, hello, my name's Tom. I'm a graduate from the RNCM. I graduated from the Bachelor of Popular Music Performance degree in 2018, I think it was. And yeah, currently based in Sydney, Australia.
Great. What do you do currently, Tom?
So I am a freelance musician and teacher. So I do a lot of teaching, freelance, and gigs. And MDing, not so much now because the whole world's on pause at the moment. But yeah, I used to work for Sony Music Australia record label for a couple of years, straight out of college, just working in the music industry. So yeah, I've had quite a range of experience in a relatively short amount of time, which is good.
Yeah, wonderful to hear. What about Alex?
Hi, yep, I'm Alex Hambleton. I'm originally from the UK, and I studied at the RNCM 2004 to 2008. I play the French horn, and I'm now the second horn in the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra.
Great. Nice and simple.
Yep.
So we're going to start off the conversation by talking a little bit of studying in a conservatoire. I think for a lot of students, particularly international students, they want to know what is it like studying in a conservatoire, and particularly in the UK as well. So my colleague Ash, who is just going to briefly introduce the RNCM to you all. And we will start the conversation asking our students and alumni to see their experience here as an international student too. So over to you, Ash.
Hello, Ellie. Should we just introduce Steph as well? I've just noticed.
Oh yeah.
Going to just so. Hi, Steph.
Hello, Steph.
Hi.
Hello, Steph. Sorry that I didn't see you there in the waiting list. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. So I'm Steph. I'm a cellist. I was at the RNCM from 2012 to 2018, 6 years. And I did my undergrad and master's there. And then when COVID happened, I was actually in Vienna, living and studying there. But then, yeah, I came home like everyone else. And now I am teaching and also performing where possible.
Great. Thank you so much, Steph. And then I will shortly direct the question back to you. So we will speak to you soon. So yeah, Ash, shall we introduce the RNCM to the participants here?
Yes, so you might already know a little bit about the college, but if you don't, I'll just give a little brief introduction. So the RNCM is one of the world's most forward-thinking conservatoires. We are based in Manchester in the UK, in the northwest of the UK, and we are dedicated to providing an outstanding education that propels our students into inspiring and versatile careers, fully equipped for exciting futures both on and off stage, and that's quite important to us. We have 3 major performance spaces in the college. We've got a fully equipped theatre and concert hall, and we're also, when restrictions allow, a vibrant music venue. So we have a large amount of events each year, and we invite members of the public into those. We were founded in 1973, and it was due to a merger of the Royal Manchester College of Music and the Northern Schools of Music, and we currently have over 900 students from more than 60 countries around the world. We're a really great and friendly place to study. We're located in the heart of the city centre, next to the main universities in the city, so it's a really vibrant and exciting community to be a part of.
Great, wonderful. I think we can lead the conversation nicely to Alicia and Naomi, being our current student now. So what's your experience like at the RNCM as an international student? Shall we start with Alicia?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like I said, I've been here since 2018. And I've loved the RNCM. It's a very welcoming place. There are, like you said, the facilities are amazing. Like, as a singer, the opera theater is so great, and like every time we do operas, it's like fully staged, fully costumed. It's like a really great experience. I love the community, and my teacher, all of the things that you want. I mean, I also did study at the New Zealand School of Music, which isn't a conservatoire, obviously, but it is, focused on music, but it just feels like so much kind of bigger than that, I guess. And there's a much bigger community. It's a really nice feeling to like be a part of, as well as, I've really just loved it and felt like I've learned heaps and had great opportunities before COVID, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very useful to know the difference between your previous study in New Zealand and your current study here at the RNCM. So can you tell us a little bit more on how is it different from schools in New Zealand, for example?
So there's no real kind of conservatoires in New Zealand. You have kind of music faculties as part of the universities. And I guess it's just a slightly different environment because everyone is so focused, and they're so studying just music to a high level. Everyone who's at the conservatoire who's at Royal Northern is really like there to really study their instrument or whatever they're doing there to like a really high level. They're really what's the word I'm looking for? Devoted and committed and passionate about music. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess it feels a lot bigger, but it could just be because it's in Manchester and not in Wellington. But
no problem. It's different when it's under different perspectives, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely. What about you, Naomi? I know obviously you have not joined us physically yet due to COVID, so you are still learning in Sydney, but I hope that you have a flavor of our courses and working with your tutor now. Then what's your experience so far?
Yeah, I'm still relatively new to the school. I've only been there for 6 months, so 2 times. But, well, kind of like what Alicia was saying, it is really big, and everyone is really passionate and driven, but it feels like passionate and not like fiercely competitive. Like everyone is helping each other, and like it's a good community. And even from afar, I can feel the community, and everyone is just like really friendly and helpful. And it feels like there's no real limit. Like it's not just you're there to study this one set syllabus. You get to kind of model your own path. And like if you're really interested in something in particular, you can probably talk to someone about it and find an opportunity to study it. And even online, like I haven't even been able to see the concert halls and things that everyone has been talking about. But I've definitely got a feel for all the online resources, which is just incredible. And like the very strong support from every staff member that I've had. So I mean, had to do with, you're never short of being supported, that's for sure.
That's great to hear, especially we're posed by the challenges of COVID, and it's really nice to hear that even though you are so far away from us, and you're still getting a experience of our community, a community here, which is great. I see some nodding from Steph when Naomi is talking, so shall I pass it to you, Steph? Like, what's your experience here? Do you feel the same as Naomi during your time here?
Yeah, I definitely found the same. It just wasn't competitive, but it was a very nurturing environment. And that's across the board from students and staff members. So yeah, I loved my time at RNCM. It was so good.
Great, that's short and sweet. Tom, being a popular music student, was your experience different from the rest? How do you how was your experience here?
I mean, ditto what everyone else has kind of said so far at the moment. You know, it was, I think it was a big gamble moving from Sydney to Manchester, despite I had friends and family who live in England. So I was always a little bit nervous and a little bit apprehensive, but had heard wonderful things about it from current students at that point in time. And, you know, from the day that I kind of first started classes or first started the induction, it really felt like, yeah, I've made the right decision. This is perfect for me. And everyone is so wonderful and so talented, and it's really inspiring. And now being back in Sydney, you know, there's bits of it that I really do miss. You know, not being there and having finished, but you know, there's a lot to be said that you know, that's finishing is fantastic too. And you know, knowing that you're so well equipped to be able to go out there in the industry and do whatever you kind of want to be able to do. So it's a really wonderful place.
Great. Thank you, Tom. Now moving to Alex, is there something of your experience at the RNCM that you miss now as an alumni? What was your experience here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I also had a fantastic time at the RNCM. It was a very long time ago as well. You know, when I started, like the new building was the library and the practice rooms above that. And then during my time, they built the extension on the Oxford Road end. So I feel like the institution, the building has changed quite a lot over the years. But I think the feeling's still the same. You know, we had this huge refectory hall, and everyone gathered there every day, and you would spend hours. Of course, you'd be practicing for hours, but you would also spend hours chatting to your friends, like making new friends, meeting people, seeing everyone in school, and you knew who everyone was, even people that weren't on your course, like postgraduates, opera singers, piano soloists from Russia, like whoever. We were all kind of we all kind of mingled in the same place. And I think that was the best thing about the RNCM for me, was the fact that alongside this really intense music making and learning and practicing, there was this kind of social element and this community element. And I lived in Charles Groves as well, in the halls for the first year. I think it was the second year it was open. And that was a great experience for me as well, because I really got to know everyone else in my year and everyone else on my course. And you know, so many of those guys are still my best friends. My colleague here in New Zealand, who I sit next to every day, he was in my class in Manchester, and I met him for the first time at the RNCM. And my best friends who've just had a baby, they met each other. They were in my class and they met each other also in Freshers Week, in that first week. So yeah, I mean, the social element is something that stays with you for the rest of your life. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, great. That's lovely to hear. What a nice story as well, that I think can continue their journey and the nice relationship they have back in New Zealand and then continue on. So yeah, that's great to hear. So shall we move on to talk a little bit more of our courses and study? At the RNCM, we do offer a wide range of courses and principal studies and different sort of level of studies as well. So I'm just going to pass it to my colleague Ash to quickly explain what courses does RNCM offer and then what will you learn during those courses too.
So we offer a range of postgraduate and undergraduate courses at the RNCM, and they're in classical and popular music. So our courses are split into the undergraduate programs and the graduate school, and then within those you'll learn in schools of study as well. So the courses kind of have three general elements. They're principal study focused, academic studies, and also an element of professional development and performance opportunities. So you can specialise in various different areas, and I'm sure the students and alumni will be able to give you a bit more information on those. You can apply for different areas of courses to cross over, and we are currently in the process of revalidating our degree programmes to allow you to do a little bit more of that crossover between both the pop course and the classical course. Ellie, you're muted.
Thank you, Ash. I always forgot that I'm muted here. So it's a really nice introduction of what the RNCM offers in a nutshell. So we can hear a little bit more now from our students and alumni to see the courses they study on and what they have learned from them and the highlights too. So shall we start with Naomi? I know that you only study with us for 6 months, but what has been your highlight so far?
Well, I love all of my classes, I have to say, and I've had the challenge of balancing it in a different time zone, but I still love it. And like I'd say one of the highlights for me was some of the workshops that we've done with like Halle Orchestra or the BBC. The BBC Phil just come in and give us a chat. Well, we do like instrumental workshops with them, which is really cool. Like learn a piece and play through it together. Which is probably the highlights for me. And I love my instrumental lessons. They're really fun. But yeah, I would say like the like my flute classes are the highlight of my course so far. Although I'm doing a research strain as well because I really enjoy research. And I found that the RNCM does offer like a lot of online resources, as I mentioned earlier. And the research strain is just so huge. Like there's a lot of opportunity to run away with that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's great. It's a wide range of different classes here for you, isn't it? So might as well make the most of it.
Yeah.
Alex, shall I move on to you? Being a horn player, French horn player, you belong to the same department as Naomi. So what was your experience here being in your course and what has been your highlight?
Yeah, I did the BMAS honors course. Yeah, in the orchestral, I don't know, is it orchestral specialist or I think it's just kind of classical instrument, French horn. And yeah, it was a great experience, both the principal study and then all the ensembles that we had the opportunity to partake in. I think I was lucky that I got given, when I was first starting, I got given opportunities to play in the symphony orchestra in my first year, and we did a lot of recordings with the wind band, which were with the wind orchestra, which was probably my first kind of studio experience. And that's something that then I've done a lot more of later in my professional life. So that was really like my first kind of introduction to studio work. Yeah, and some of the orchestral projects that we did, you know, they're still like highlights of my orchestral playing career. We got to work with great conductors and great soloists. We got to play repertoire you don't always play in a symphony orchestra in a normal season. You know, like at the RNCM, you have the opportunity to do something slightly different that isn't what the Halle are playing or the BBC Phil are playing. So I remember we did like the whole ballet of Daphnis and Chloe by Ravel, which is a great opportunity, but a lot of my professional colleagues have never played the whole thing. We did Tarangalila, Messiaen, which is a fantastic piece, but again, you know, it's not the standard repertoire. It was my first opportunity playing opera as well, and yeah, we did like Ravel operas, which are kind of rare, yeah, you get opportunities to do the core repertoire, but there's also a diversity and an interest in doing unusual things that aren't normally programmed. So they were some of my highlights artistically, but also just the practice time and the environment of working hard, and the fantastic other students in my class. The fact that you work with the other horn students of all ages and even all courses. So as a first year, you're doing class with postgraduates. That's such an eye-opening experience, and that really was what guided me in knowing what I was aiming at, in knowing what kind of sound I was going for, what kind of like technical levels I could be expecting, and because you see it laid out so clearly in the other years above you, it really gives you kind of short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals and things to strive for. And those were some of my best, my best kind of artistic vision probably comes from those opportunities.
Great. It's a fantastic perspective to hear. Yes, Steph, what about you? Being a cello player here, have you, what course did you study on? And during your course, what was your highlight?
So I just also did the BMAS honors. Sorry, my dog's making noise in the background. Yeah, and then I did my master's in music, just the normal classical course. And I would say, as an alumni now, reflecting on all the courses that we did, I'm going slightly off topic now, but I actually think, especially in times of COVID, I think it has covered a lot of grounds. For example, teaching, I never thought I'd be doing so much teaching, but at the RNCM, I learned the Roland approach to string teaching and the Kodály method, and they're things that is very attractive on my resume to prospective employees. Yeah. And also while I was there, you know, a lot of orchestral things. There was a lot of orchestral training, placements. I did a placement with the BBC Phil. That was really fun. And, you know, it really prepares you in all aspects, because you don't know if there's going to be a pandemic and you're not going to be able to perform, or, you know, so I really think that it covered a really broad range. I would also say, as a cellist, we had amazing people come and give masterclasses, and that's something that some of my highlights performing wise would be some of the masterclasses, and Henk Guitart came and we played Verklecht de Nacht, and probably my highlight would be when I played the Rococo Variations and Henk was conducting the chamber orchestra, and yeah, that was really amazing. Yeah,
great. It's great to hear that how different things that you learned at RNCM become helpful and to you during your career in different time. Like you said, the teaching during COVID time. We said that like studying music, it opens doors to endless opportunity, isn't it? So there are always things that you learn during study that might become useful sometime down the line with wherever the world goes, isn't it? Great. Alicia, what about you being an opera singer? You study 2 master courses with us, isn't it? So during your courses here, what has been your highlight? What did you enjoy about your study?
Yeah, so yes, I did 2-year masters, and then I'm currently doing the 1-year PG Dip, and that's in the vocal studies and opera So yeah, I mean, we have classes every week, like performance classes, which are kind of like master classes a lot. There's lots of language support. We do opera scenes, which is really cool. We also have, like Steph said, we have people from outside coming in to give master classes, which is always really great, especially in these times as well. With we're still able to do that over Zoom. We've had masterclasses with Graham Vick and Karen McFadden, and trying to think, like, there's lots of people, which is great, because like it's a really great opportunity to learn from those people who have done it. I would say for me, definitely highlights are doing the operas. I've been involved in a few in Carmelites, Mansfield Park, and the Cunning Little Vixen. And the highlight for me, obviously, was the Cunning Little Vixen, because that was the Vixen, and it was a really great experience. Even though, obviously, it was during COVID, and we had to do a socially distanced production and everything was a little bit, a bit weird, a bit unknown, just because of the situation. But we still did it, and I still had the chance to learn this role and perform it, and just such a great experience to do that.
Great. Even though that we can't have a normal production during COVID time, I'm glad to hear that you enjoy your time being the Vixen.
Yeah, it was still a really valuable experience. Like, we still got to do all the stuff, to learn the role, be in costume, do a fully staged production. I mean, lots of people are doing socially distanced productions at the moment. So yeah, it's just a different way of doing things, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Great. What about you, Tom? And being a popular music student, I think your experience might be quite different than the rest of the panelists here.
Yeah, I mean, it was more or less the same. When I started the popular course, it kind of was just kind of it was only had been a thing at the college, I think, only for like 4 or 5 years, so it was still a relatively new thing. But it, not to say that did any disadvantage to it. It still felt very much like a refined thing. And the highlights for me were mainly the master classes. We used to have really fantastic popular musicians come through and give us talks or even performances. I do remember in my first year, one of the standout masterclasses was where all the principal study tutors were in a band and got together and kind of just jammed on a couple of tunes. And I remember just being sat in the room, kind of just laughing to myself, because I couldn't believe that these people were teaching us. They were just so talented. It was really, really special and inspiring. And even we got to mix with the classical courses too. So the main thing for me was the session orchestra, which was kind of where it's like a popular music rhythm section, and then it's big horn section, big string section, and that's been the biggest ensemble that I've played with to date, even post finishing there, and that's still such a massive highlight in my playing career, and really look back on that with really fond memories. And it's nice to hear that there's going to be even more. Sounds like the courses are being revalidated or whatever. There's going to be even more kind of crossover, and I think I learned a lot from classical musicians, and I feel like it's vice versa. It's such a collaborative learning environment with everyone. It didn't feel like, for me anyway, that it was like the classical lot and the popular music course. We were kind of the special ones. It was all fantastic and just wonderful time.
Yeah, great. It's wonderful to hear that the popular music course and the classical music course, like the benefit of having both at the RNCM is that the opportunity to collaborate together and work together and be as one, and then to seek new opportunities and different projects from it. So that's very exciting and interesting. And then we have touched on quite a range of performance opportunity here, like Tom just mentioned, like session orchestra and Alicia opera, and a number of chamber music master classes access opportunities here. So the performance and professional opportunity here at the RNCM is really second to none. Like, we provide so many opportunities and in a range of different form as well to our students during their study, and we think that is essential to their music learning as well. So I'm just going to pass it to Ash to quickly introduce the range of professional and placement opportunities that we offer here to our students, and then we can get back to our students and alumni to see what their experience is with the performance that they participate here.
So a big part of the course is obviously performance opportunities and professional opportunities, and we're really keen on making sure that there are opportunities for students, whatever they'd like to do with their careers. So that could be on stage or off stage or kind of backstage or whatever you want to do. So we have all of the great ensembles. I know a couple of them have been mentioned earlier. So the session orchestra, we've got big band, jazz ensemble, we have chamber music ensembles, and they perform regularly throughout the year at the RNCM, but also at venues across Manchester, across the Northwest, the UK, across the world. We go to Italy most years, to Montepulciano, to the festival there, and there are lots of great opportunities for students to get involved in as part of those. You can also take part in a placement as part of courses, most of the courses that we offer. So a lot of our students do things like joining in the BBC Phil, as you mentioned, Steph, I think it was. So that can be both within the sort of performance side, but also with the admin side as well. We have students gaining opportunities to help out with the digital marketing areas. We have students join the marketing team at the college if they have a specific interest in that sort of area. And you can also put together your own project that we'll support you with as well. So all of these things are designed to kind of give you a springboard to test out what you want to do in your career, and to have that with all of the support from students and staff around you at the college.
Great, thank you, Ash. So it's really a question for our panelists here of any interesting or memorable project that are you involved in during your time here at the RNCM. So shall we start with Tom?
Sorry, I just had to unmute myself there.
Sorry.
Yeah, let me have a think. I didn't think I'd be first. I thought I had a little more time to think. Memorable project. So as part of there was, like, you know, with the session orchestra thing, there was a thing where some kind of visiting artists would come in and we'd perform their music, and it would be like a showcase of them, and we get to, you know, sit down with them and work through all their stuff. And one guy that we had was called Stefan Rettenbacher. He's a bass player from London, and that was awesome. That was just really cool to just play, you know, different kind of tunes that we wouldn't have normally played, I don't think, or that I wouldn't have initially kind of gravitated towards playing, but saw it as, you know, a bit of a fun kind of challenge, something a little bit different. And yeah, that was awesome. That was really memorable. And you know, just being in the rehearsal rooms with these guys, and they'd come over to us, and the people from their band would come over to us and say, oh, how about you try doing this, or try do that, or, you know, maybe have you thought about doing it in this way? That was really insightful, just to kind of hear kind of the people that had played these tunes or recorded them in the studio just give us their tips and a bit of their words of wisdom to really help us kind of really, you know, dial it in and getting it sounding real tight. So yeah, that was particularly memorable. But I mean, it's hard to nail it down to one, because there is so many memorable and fantastic opportunities. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you at the spot there.
That's all right.
I saw that I mixed it up a bit with like the
no,
orders.
It's all good.
Thank you, Tom.
That's all right.
Steph, what about you?
Sorry. Yes. So I also think it's really hard to say just one. I do distinctly remember when St. Martin's in the Field, members from St. Martin's in the Field came and gave, sorry, my dog is really crazy. St. Martin's in the Field came and directed us for a project, and that was, for me, a particularly memorable, as I was principal cello for that, so I really enjoyed that. And yeah, and they just helped us and worked with our orchestral skills. Of course, as I mentioned, also the placement. And I kind of ruined this question because I answered this question before for myself.
That's okay.
Yeah, just I found all the orchestral projects very inspiring, and especially the conductors that were brought in, even our in residents, Mark Heron and Clark Rundle, they just have so much wisdom and so much information to give us. And it's, yeah, I think after every concert, it was just, yeah, it was a very good feeling during and after.
Great, thank you. And then can I ask a little bit more of the projects that you're involved in, and how do you think being an alumni now and looking back, how it helped you with your job now, like with your career development?
Yeah, well, I think, oh my gosh, sorry. I think the skills, it's hard to learn things unless someone tells you or you learn by experience. And just there were just endless opportunities to really hone in the orchestral technique. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah. And sorry, my dog. I really have to concentrate. How they help me now? Well, having the BBC placement on my resume has helped me enormously with getting other opportunities and trials for other orchestras. Once they see that you already have that on your CV, it really helps a lot. She's pulling.
That's okay. I think we will move on to the next participant while the little doggies get a little attention. Alex, now that we're talking about orchestral experience, now being the first horn player at an orchestra, how do you think your experience at the RNCM helped that?
It was fantastic. I mean, it was my way into the profession. I think in my third year, I got this BBC Phil placement, and I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I remember, in fact, in the concert, my first professional orchestral concert ever, I played a spare note in bar 2, and the whole horn section started laughing. It was really embarrassing. But hey, I mean, things went up from there. Things got better from there on out. Also, Manchester Camerata were in the building, and so there were lots of opportunities. Well, there were a few opportunities, especially in my last year, to play with them, and some of those concerts were just fantastic. I've still got the CD of Beethoven 7 that we recorded with them at the Bridgewater Hall, which was absolutely a career highlight at the time, and played a violin concerto by Thomas Adès with Anthony Marwood. And that was also like a real introduction to this composer, who I then played a piece of his in my final recital. And I've kind of, is someone who I feel like that I have a particular interest in. And that was my first opportunity to get to know him. Also, we ran our own chamber music ensembles and had a wind quintet and a brass quintet that all worked around the north, playing gigs in different chamber music societies and in Manchester. And so we did a lot of travel and a lot of gigs, and that kind of sustained me and paid my way through college, or paid my beer money at least. And so those were the kind of that was the way into music making. And then in my last year, I also got this thing which was called the Jerwood Scheme, which was with the Orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment in London. I don't know if it was through the RNCM as such. I think it was open to all music students at all conservatoires in the UK. But because of my natural horn teacher and period performance teachers in Manchester and at the Northern, that we had a real advantage. Me and there was one other guy who auditioned on horn, had a real advantage over the people in London who actually hadn't done so much period performance in their undergraduate courses. So that was an amazing opportunity, and that set me off down a path of being a period performance specialist. And that was what I did for the first few years out of college. Then after that, playing early music, and with these really big time ensembles in London, Age of Enlightenment and Academy of Ancient Music, and things like that. So it was absolutely the springboard into professional life that I needed and wanted. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's what the RNCM is about, isn't it? Is to prepare you for your future career, wherever that will be and whatever that will be in. So yeah, that's, thank you for sharing that. Alicia, other than being the vixen recently,
Yeah.
have you involved in any other projects that you particularly enjoy?
Definitely. I mean, yeah. So that has been a very recent highlight, but I have been involved in lots of other things. Actually, it made me think of something that wasn't actually performing, but I was in the Opera North Chorus Mentor Scheme last year, which was a really memorable project to be a part of. We have like a kind of partnership with Opera North where you get a mentor from the chorus there, and you kind of, you get to like chat with them. They can give you some advice. You get to go watch lots of rehearsals and the shows, and kind of do mock auditions for the company, which was just such a great experience in terms of like seeing how the professional workplace actually works. That was a really memorable project. And then in terms of like performance things, there have been quite a few other things as well. Like I got to sing with the symphony orchestra in Mahler's Fourth Symphony, which was such a cool experience in the concert hall. Like, massive orchestra, and like just to get to sing with a huge orchestra in like a really nice place was just really lovely. And then also my first year, I did the Strauss competition, and it feels like a really big kind of lead up to it, because it's like a public performance at the end, and the finals are like it just feels like quite a big thing, especially because it's like my first year as well. It was like I guess it was my first real kind of public performance in Manchester. And yeah, that was super memorable. Yeah, because I won, but I feel like bad saying that now because I've just been like, but anyway, it was a really great experience, and it would have been anyway. But just in front of being able to sing in front of the public in a place where you feel comfortable, even though it's part of like a competition, yeah, really, really great, memorable experiences.
Great, thank you for sharing that. So quite a range of different projects there, isn't it? So it's great to hear what our student can get involved in during their study. So great. Lastly, shall we move to Naomi? I know that being online learning so far, it hasn't been the full experience that you have experienced so far, like in the RNCM, but is there anything that you particularly enjoy so far?
Yeah, I feel like I've got some project catch up to do when I arrive. The one thing I really like about the RNCM is that there's like, you're not just kind of given your syllabus or whatever. Like there's so many extra things that arrive in your inbox every day that you can take advantage of. Like I can't even keep up with them. I did do like a digital project recently, the Connect and Create project, which like the whole school had the opportunity to do if they wanted to, and you just got to like team up with people and make like little, pretty much your own boss, and you could do whatever you wanted. And they had like this mentoring program where we got to learn about how to like digitally create something, which was really cool. But yeah, I would say like there's just so many extra things that you can do that's outside of your degree that like teaches you just as much that you don't get marked on. It's just really fun.
Yeah, great. Thank you for mentioning that. Like even though like you are doing it online, but I'm sure that there are more opportunities and even a bigger range of opportunities here when you arrive in Manchester and experience it in person. So that's great. I'm just wary of the time, so I think we can quickly wrap up here now. So thank you all for coming and share your experience. And for the participants here at this session, just to mention that we have a great day planned for you ahead with live presentations, panel discussions, and online resources about all the topics that we have covered here. So if you want to know a little bit more, please join our sessions during the day. And then get to know our student communities as well. So it will be the perfect start of your RNCM journey. So stay tuned. So feel free to get in touch with us via admissions. That will be admissions@rncm.ac.uk. You can find this email address everywhere on our internet. And we hope to see you at some point in the future in Manchester as well. So enjoy the open day, and thank you all for all the panelists and the student and online to share your experience here. It's really great to hear how RNCM has helped your career and how you have enjoyed your time at the RNCM. So hopefully we will catch up with you soon. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
See
Thank
ya.
you.